it's Sam. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a upcycled blanket quilt thing out of sweatpant legs. I am a tailor and a lot of the sweatpants that I receive want to be made into sweat shorts. So I keep those scraps and I save them for a time where I can reuse them. Usually it's sweatshirts or something like that, but today I decided to share with you how to make a sweatshirt blanket. It's very simple. It's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to be an emergency blanket in the back of your car, or one of those picnic blankets that you can just throw in the wash easily. So here we go.
So the main things you're gonna need for this project are scissors, a ruler, chalk, and some 5x5 knit squares, and I'm talking a whole lot of squares. Alright, I mean a lot. And the main reason why we're using knit squares in this is because it's more stretchy, it's a little bit more comfortable, it doesn't fray as easy because it's all one continuous loop interlocking with each other, as opposed to your woven alternative, which, as you can see, is very pretty, but at the same time can very easily rip, and it is not as fun. It also frays a lot more, and that's what I'm not going for this project. So that is why I am choosing to work with a knit square that I've cut out of sweatpants. Alright, so while I have you here, while I'm cutting out some 5x5 squares, I will tell you why I'm using sweatpant legs, and the reason is because I had the most of them and they were going to go in the trash anyway, so why not reduce textile waste and create a nice blanket out of it. And for this blanket, I'm just going to be laying the squares over each other and sewing them with a zigzag stitch over top of them just to connect them. There's not going to be a backing. This is going to be a relatively light blanket. This is just for a basic understanding, especially for people new to sewing and sewing knit fabric, just to get a basic idea of how it will work, how it moves under your machine. And most importantly, reduce your textile waste, because the fashion industry is actually the second most polluting thing on this earth, which I find absolutely baffling. So any way that I can do to reduce that waste, I'm going to try my best and figure out what I can do with it. And this is hopefully going to start some ideas for people wanting to use up old clothing, old sweatshirts, old t-shirts. You can do the same thing with a t-shirt quilt or any sort of upcycling fashion, which I will be sure to put out some more videos of. So in this shot, you see me laying out all of the squares into a basic 4-patch. So that 4-patch is going to be the main pattern piece that is going to be repeated throughout the quilt that I'm creating. So if you want to do this completely random, that's up to you. I'm just deciding to make a basic 4-patch to create like a grid looking blanket pattern. And this is me just setting up my sewing machine, testing everything, making sure all the parts of it are working, getting my white thread all set up. Now you can use a different colored thread, obviously. I'm not going to stop you from expressing your creativity. If you want to use hot pink thread, by all means use that hot pink thread. Just make sure your machine is working well and you have it set for a zigzag stitch. The reason why we're using a zigzag stitch is because it's better for knit fabrics in that it enters at the fabric at 2 different points unevenly, and it allows it to stretch a little bit more. It gives a little bit more wiggle room, but still keeps the fabric together. Once you sew up all of your squares into blocks, then you can sew your blocks into rows, and then you can sew those rows up to create your big blanket. So what we're going to be doing after that is we're going to sew up the seams of the blanket, make sure it's all squared off, and just look it over and snuggle with it. Because the only way to test out a blanket if it's properly made is to snuggle with it.
Alright. Hey everyone! So, I just wanted to come in and say that this is the finished product. It is messy, it is grungy. That's kind of the look I was going for. It's not meant to be perfect. It's just a way to get you to reuse fabric in different ways, other than making a simple tote, which is also great, but I just wanted to make something different. So remember, it's completely up to you. You can do whatever you want with this. It's just about having fun, experiencing fabric. So if you did it, you have a blanket on your lap, you snuggled with it, I'd say you did it. So good job. But yeah. So stay safe, stay fierce. Just wash your hands, guys.